Welcome back to the episode with Mystic Scales and Fae
And
Tales
Fae Tales
Podcast.
Podcast.
I'm your host, Jennifer.
And I'm your host, Leigh.
We are a fantasy, dystopian, and romance podcast.
Romance.
And we are really excited today to review a book that our book club, which inspired this entire podcast, is reading right now. If you are in the book club, we're so happy to welcome you back to the podcast episode. I'm so excited to review this with you. If you're not in the book club, welcome. Also, if it's your first time here, welcome. This is part of our long series that we have started recently. We have entered the Grishaverse by Leigh Bardugo. Are you excited I said the last name right?
I don't think you did.
I still probably didn't.
There's a G.
What are you saying?
Bardugo. Bardugo. I've actually never heard her say it. But
I'm so sorry, Leigh. Both Leighs. Okay, but anyway, so we started with Six of Crows, and we're gonna do Crooked Kingdom, the two duology, and then we're gonna go to Shadow and Bone. So if you are interested in reading along with us, please join us on the app Babel. You can look up Fae Tales Podcast, Fae Tales, whichever you want to look up. You'll find our book club, and that's where we are getting into all of this. But our book club, we post pictures, we have discussions. We have some really great discussions for this book.
Yeah.
And then we come on here and we review it. So today is that episode. So spoilers are ahead. If you do not want to be spoiled for Six of Crows, please come back because we are about to spoil it up. And then we're going to keep on chugging along for this hour episode. So welcome.
Yeah. Our book club was very engaged, and even we usually read for about a month, and even towards the end of our allotted read time, we've had more people joining, more people commenting, which is very cool. And just as a heads up, you can always go back. So if we move on to Crooked Kingdom and you're just joining us for Six of Crows, it's in our archive on the app Fable. So you can go back and you can still read along with us. We have people who are a few books behind, and we still get their comments, talk with them too, like what they post, all those fun things. So it's
Which is really exciting. I love when people come back. It's so fun.
It's a great community.
Okay, so Six of Crows. This is YA, so Leigh and I are very, very happy because we grew up we were in the 2000s YA era. YA means a lot to both of us as readers and writers. So going to read YA fantasy, that was very popular, that Leigh had read before and I hadn't. And then when we go to Shadow and Bone, she has never read Shadow and Bone, right? You never read it?
No, I haven't read it.
Okay,
I have it, but I haven't read it yet.
Okay, good. So it'd be nice that we'll be experiencing it the first time. So anyway, all I have to preference to say, this book, we loved it, means a lot, and we are really happy because YA is such an important genre. So.
Yeah. We also have some commentary about, YA from 2015 and how it's kind of translated to today, which I found very interesting. So we will get back to that.
Ketterdam, a bustling hub of international trade where anything can be had for the right price. And no one knows that better than criminal prodigy Kaz Brecker. Kaz is offered a chance at a deadly heist that could make him rich beyond his wildest dreams, but he can't pull it off alone. A convict with a thirst for revenge, a sharpshooter who can't walk away from a wager, a runaway with a privileged past, a spy known as the Wraith, a heartrender using her magic to survive the slums, and a thief with a gift for unlikely escapes. Kaz's crew are the only ones who might stand between the world and destruction, if they don't kill each other first. Six of Crows. Yeah, so we're in the world of Shadow and Bone. Obviously, Leigh and I haven't read Shadow and Bone yet, so we have no idea if we meet any characters that overlap. But the main thing is the magic system, the Grisha is in both. So it would be really interesting to see what intertwines, because we know that the Netflix has made a TV show that they have sadly canceled. But they made 2 seasons and they intertwined the beginning of this. They have some of the characters in it. I've only watched the first season before any of this, so now that I'm reading this, I don't fully remember that because I watched it when the show came out, which was a long time ago at this point. So I think I told you, I remember Jasper Jesper. Why am I saying Jasper? It's Jesper, I think.
Jasper.
I'm saying Jasper the Friendly Ghost. That's Casper. What am I doing? Oh, anyway, I remembered Jesper from it, like his character in it, but I don't remember anything related to this or to the story, and so it'll be interesting to go forward when we go to watch it. Like, we're going to be able to critique it. So, also fun fact for all our listeners, we're hoping that when we're done with all this, we'll do like a watch party or something fun to celebrate and watch the show together.
Yes, very much looking forward to that. Did you go into this like thinking about the heist, thinking about the plot at all?
I think I only knew it was a heist because you said that. Like, I didn't know anything about this other than that people really love the group of people that are together.
I didn't even remember saying it was a heist, so okay.
So maybe it wasn't you. Maybe I didn't know it was a heist. I mean, I'm excited because my paperback is gorgeous.
Oh, I didn't know you had
for
like
a paperback
stuff inside.
Yeah, so when you open the cover, you have reviews, which I feel like I don't need praise. I already bought the book, but I get it. If I was buying the book, then it has this gorgeous artwork of a crow and a cup. No one wanted my funerals, which might be the tattoo they get. Yeah. So that was cool. And then you go into it. There's more reviews. I think I need all these reviews. Then you have the map.
Oh, there's a map. Okay.
It's the map of everything they mention, I think, for the most part. Like, you find Ketterdam really, really small all the way at the bottom. Yeah, there's places here that I don't even think that we, like, visited or talked. Like, they might have talked about really quickly, so that's pretty cool. Then we go to the ice court. So it's supposed to be what Weiland
draws. Oh, cool. Very cool.
And I'm assuming he did not write in the places.
Probably not.
So yeah, it has the gate, the glass bridge, the White Island, the Sacred Ash, the treasury, and then like the ice moat, and then the training room. So it has the prison sector. I thought there was multiple layers, so I guess if this is everything, that's everything. But in my head, there was multiple more. And then it goes into the book, and in the book, they have a whole front where it talks
does
about
that describe the Grisha? Cool.
Soldiers of the Second Army master the small science, the I don't know how she says this.
I have no idea.
I thought she said corporeal. Yeah, but the Order of the Living and the Dead, which is the Heartrenders and the Healers, and they have the Etherarchy, which is the Order of the Summoners, Squallers, Inferni, and the Tidemakers, and then the Madaraki, the Order of Fabricators, which is the Duras and the Alchemy. And then it's so beautiful for each part. It has like black with white, and then each chapter is like they have like a little artwork above the person's name. But I think it's the same artwork for everyone. It's just like, it's like the cover. Yeah, it's the cover. It's the crow with the upside down buildings. So yeah, I love and this is a paperback. So I love it came in a little box set with my Crooked Kingdom. So I love my little paperback. And yeah, I don't know what the original question was or how we got here, but.
We were just talking about the heist, but
okay,
we got to see a beautiful book.
Yes, and did you feel like going into it second time? Did you remember everything, or was this like a new, like a refresher, or like how did it feel like for you reading it a second time?
It kind of felt like reading it for the first time, but I very much knew the characters, but all the like nuances of the story I didn't quite remember. Like there was one time you may have posted like ahead of me or something. Oh, it was about the tank. I think you texted me and you're like, not the tank. And I was like, I don't remember a tank. But it was still a great read. I'm very, very happy that we're doing it. And like, I was nervous I wasn't going to finish in time. And I was like, oh, it'll be okay. Like you've read it before. And I was like, no, I want to have it all. So I'm very glad that we both finished in time. So.
Yeah. I started with this gorgeous paperback, and it was so good to read that way. But I was running out of time because I don't know. It makes me sad that I can't finish a paperback in a month. I'm probably going to take longer to read a print book. But give me
It's
the
okay.
audiobook and I finished it in a week, and I'm like, freaking
Yeah.
kidding me. So
Yeah.
I switched to audiobook. I mean, but the audiobook book, it was good. Like it was they have a different reader for each character of our six of crows, or I should say our
Very
five,
nice.
because Wylan never gets his own chapter. Noted author.
Mm.
I actually, side note, I mean, hopefully this will happen in Kingdom because I haven't read it yet, but I was under the impression that Wylan was going to die because he didn't get his own chapter. I was like, oh, so all five of them get their
Mm.
own chapters except for him? He's the one that dies. That was just like my putting it together from like a
Interesting.
structure perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I mean, we've got that random first chapter with Jost, who was a character that never was introduced
Oh,
again.
yeah.
So you
And then
never
you
know.
also
Like
get Pekka at the end, Rollins.
Peck at the end, yeah. So
So,
it doesn't necessarily mean every character that gets a spotlight is going to live or die. So I'm like, whatever. But it's just interesting that the entire crew gets a
hmm
chapter except for Wyland in this first book. So I hope in the second book we get one. But yeah, so there's a reader for every person, which was really cool. I didn't start with Joe, so I don't know who read for him, for that one chapter. But the reader for Nina is the same reader that reads Sarah J. Maas's audiobooks, not her graphic adaptions, but her audiobooks. So that was pretty jarring at first, for sure. A little bit of like but
like,
it
what
was
is
cool.
this?
The only one that I had trouble with was Jesper's because some of the lines he was reading when he was talking, reading another person's line, it was hard to differentiate who was Jesper's line, who was somebody else's line. So
Oh, if
especially
he's
like his
like
little moments with
talking.
Wylan. Yeah, his
Mm.
talking was hard to, and then like the talking to inner voice was a little hard. Because he
That's
had
too
like
bad.
variations, but it was just a little difficult at times.
That's too
Um,
bad.
yeah, but he did get the character right. Like he felt like he was, Jesper's voice in that aspect. Um, so it was more of like a direction thing for audiobooks than it was like an actor thing. Um, so yeah, that's how I devoured this book, and then you read it on Kindle.
hmm I did. Yeah. It was, I think it was in my library, but it is also on Kindle Unlimited, which is nice. Although I'm curious because there's been some like talk recently about updates to these books.
Yeah, so I watched a little bit of that video I
And
sent you, and I'm really sad.
yeah, and I don't know like I think especially the version of Crooked Kingdom because it does have the Netflix like logo, but I think your
Well,
physical
mine does.
copy has that. So I
Yeah,
don't
that's
know
easy
if
to update.
those I don't know if but I mean like I don't know if those are this updated version or if they're original text.
Well, okay, so the video I sent you, which you watched the whole thing, so tell me if I'm wrong. I only watched some of it because it was before I started, so I didn't want to spoil. But apparently, I don't, do they say where they heard this from?
I think people just noticed.
Oh, that in some of the versions, the ages are being deleted from the text, so that way people don't catch on that it's a YA book, I guess, because more adults are reading it, which is really freaking sad. Like, don't do that. The author intended it to be in this genre when it began, and she wrote it for that, and it reads like that. So why are you trying to change it just for
Yeah.
more sales? Like, you're still getting the sales. So
Yeah.
what's...
It's
And I was
very
like,
odd.
it's very rare to change a book in text post, like, as after all of these years. Like, that's weird. If you did like an anniversary edition, maybe you add a chapter, you add things, but taking things out, unless if
Yeah.
it like aged poorly or something and it's like something offensive now, then yeah, of course. But otherwise, like, that's just weird and it seems like a
Yeah.
lot of work. And that's why I was like, when I started sending you that video, I was like, how did they do that? I was like, how would they even? There's so many copies of this in the world now. So,
I know. It's very strange.
but mine said ages and my
Yeah,
audiobook.
I mean, yeah, we had a whole conversation about ages. And I don't think I've come across I've only read like 3 chapters or something of the next one. Although I did get there was a typo where they wrote the wrong person's name like doing the action, and it was very confusing. So I was like, huh, okay.
That's
Yeah.
weird. Why haven't they caught that? Like, this book came out in, what, 2015?
Yeah. The
So
second
why
one might be
haven't-
16, but yeah. That's
So,
a long time.
that's a decade ago. They should be able to fix them. Oh, I wonder if they did anniversary editions for the 10 years.
I don't remember seeing anything.
Me either. She's been publishing an adult, too, so I don't know.
Yeah, she publishes a lot. I also feel like she kind of doesn't need to like republish anything because she's still relevant, you know?
Yeah.
But I have to look it up. That'd be very cool. I know like they've done box sets and stuff because... Do you have the Shadow and Bone? Is it all of them?
I bought them individually, not in a box set.
Okay.
But I bought like these pretty colors they have. Like pretty covers.
Yeah, the first one's very pretty. It's like blue. Swirly. But yes, so it's like you said before, it's like a YA at the height of YA. And I don't know if it would be dystopian per se, but it's definitely...
No, it's fantasy.
Yeah, I guess, would you say it's like urban fantasy?
The dystopian aspect will only be the fact that they're questioning a government that exists, but they haven't really pushed it that far in this one, I would think.
No, it's just that the government, not even the government, like the
world.
The merchants are corrupt, basically.
And also like the world of how they're treating the Grisha.
Yeah.
That's also something that is being constantly like
a very much like other, yeah.
Trying to see what they label it as. Young adult magical realism, action and adventure.
Yeah, okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I just think like the city aspect of it plays such a big role. And like to me, it was always like, I don't think this has ever been confirmed, but to me it's always been reminiscent of like London, and like Kaz is like a Peter Pan type, with Inej being his like tank, and just kind of like that era of the like downtrodden, like Jack the Ripper, like that kind of London, which I think she does a really good job of like describing the different gangs and the gambling halls and the menagerie. And I think a good example too is like Kaz's backstory with Mr. Hertzune, who, you know, fools him and his brother, and just how...
Like his Captain Hook, you're saying?
I mean, kinda.
Yeah.
I just think she does a good job of like bringing that visual...
Wait, did you read The King of Scars duology?
No.
This picks up a year after the end of Six of Crows.
Oh. No, I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, I'm on her website, and she's saying the reading order she's saying is begin with Shadow and Bone, then go to Six of Crows, so we kind of switched it, and then end with The Kings of Scars duology. Also, there are some other random ones. She has like one-offs. And then also, when I went to the Grishaverse website, it asked me if I'm 18 or older.
Huh. That's odd.
Weird. And they did redo the covers.
For the 10th?
Yeah. And I noticed that my audiobook looks like that too. Because the cover is Kaz. And I think the Crooked Kingdom cover is Inej.
Oh. Yeah, I guess this King of Scars is about a Grisha army.
Yeah, and then they have Demon in the Wood. Witness the origin story of the Darkling come alive in a exclusively illustrated graphic novel prequel to Shadow and Bone. The Language of Thorns is another one they have, so it's a beautifully illustrated collection of dark fairy tales that the characters of the Grishaverse might have read as a child. You can pick up The Language of Thorns without any knowledge of the rest of the books. A great gift for fans and people brand new to the verse. Then we have Demon in the Wood. Before he led Oh, that was a spoiler. I'm not going to keep going with that. The Lives of Saints, lavishly illustrated tales of Grishaverse saints. Spoiler-free, but best for readers who have already started exploring the books of Grishaverse. Then there's The Severed Moon, a journal of writing prompts and quotes drawn from the series. That's not a book. So, really... Okay, so it's Shadow and Bone, then it goes to the Crooked Kingdom, then the Scars one, and then she's saying you could read the Demon in the Wood.
Do you think we have to read the Scars one?
I don't know. I think we should go back to Shadow and Bone because we maybe should have started with it. But I've just heard so many people that have read Six of Crows by itself. That's why.
Yeah, I really don't think you have to.
And whatever spoiler we get, we won't know until we get there.
True.
You know what I mean? Like we're fine. Whatever. We'll go back. I think it's so interesting that you said this Peter Pan thing. I wonder if anyone else felt that and has said the same.
I've seen it online before. And I think that's, like, I don't think I just came up with it. Like, I think I saw it while I was...
Love that.
No, I mean, I read it when it was coming out, so I'm sure somewhere along the way someone said that, but I don't... What I read recently was, like, it's never been confirmed.
I would agree with it, though. So, let's talk about the book.
Go for it.
What... I don't even know where to start with this one. There's just, like, so much happens in it, you know? I guess, like, to, like, do, like, a quick recap. You know, we have Kaz, we meet. And, well, we start off the book, actually, with the seeing of the drug being used on a Grisha and a Heartrender and how, like, it makes them super, uber powerful. And then we get to meet Kaz. We met some of the gang. Not all of them, and then Kaz gets kidnapped after they do a great, you know, they do like a meet-up with another gang, and they show them up and all this stuff, and he gets offered this deadly thing to break into the Ice Corp and find the person, the son. Does he know it's the son, or they think it's the creator?
No, it's supposed to be the dad. Okay,
they think it's the creator of the drug, kidnap him, bring him back, and get paid for it, like a huge amount of money. 400 million Kluger, I think it is. Or 300 million? 30? Some, because they have to split it, and they split it with...
Because I think it's 30 million, and they each get 4 million.
There we go. So then he decides to make a crew. He makes the crew. He already has Inez, and he already has Jesper. He knows Nina. He takes Nina, and she has this whole backstory with this guy Mateus, who we meet, and he's from the Ice Corp, so they get him out of jail, and because he's in jail because of Nina, which is a whole other backstory, and they set off, and
layers.
Guy Wyland, I know, there's so many layers. We meet Guy Wyland, who Kaz brings on because he's the son of the merchant, or one of the merchants, ends up being the merchant they make the deal with. To use his leverage, but that backfires. And then they head up to the Ice Court. They get attacked on their way there, and Nej almost dies, but she doesn't die. We get a lot of backstory about everyone's trauma. And we get to the Ice Court. They decide to go in as prisoners, and when they go in as prisoners, to get search the prison first, but also it's a way into the Ice Court without being scan for papers, and then they get out of the prison, barely get to scare their teeth, and Nej almost dies again, and Kaz gets to meet Per Haskell, his one true enemy, because of his trauma, and then we get out of the prison.
Pekka.
Oh, Pekka Rollins, sorry.
Yeah.
So I don't know why I confused the names. And then they get out of the prison, and they're like, we can escape now or keep going, and they're like, we're going to keep going. They decide that he's probably in the middle in their most sacred tree where the party is happening, because they went to the Ice Court during this huge festival when other people are coming in, so it doesn't look weird that they're coming in. And Nej and Nina go in with the brothel people, and Nej gets caught, but Nina doesn't, so she goes in, and Kaz and Mateus go through another way that Mateus was hiding because he didn't want to give up his people because he feels like a traitor. But he's battling it constantly because his people are kind of trash, because they want to kill Grisha. Jesper and Wyland, who are flirting the entire time, go off to set off the worst alarms. That way, they trap the Fjerdans within their own trap, like with all their security, so they can get out. And then, what's it called? Then, some things go to plan, some things don't go to plan.
Tricked. Yeah.
Nina gets tricked. She gets captured. But little do we know, Matthias was playing the other hand to get her out. They blow up the lab that they found with all these Grisha in it. Well, they don't blow up the Grisha. They blow up, like, the research. And ends up, the guy's dead. And only his son's alive, and he's, like, a child. And so they made the drug because it was a way, as the father was trying to help the son hide his power so he wouldn't get caught as a Grisha. So it came from a place of love and ended up backfiring. So then they all get out differently, different ways, crazy ways. Inej and Rylan and Jesper take a tank, and they're running down the street with the tank, and they see the others, and they hop on. They're like, oh my god, we're going to get to freedom. And then psych, everyone's waiting for them, the army's waiting for them at the harbor. And
that
so
was wild.
It's like, I'm taking the drug to save us all. And she takes the drug, and she saves them all. And they get back on the boat, and they're like, why did you do that, Nina? I have to save you. Because the drug is really addictive. And then they're like, okay. So we're going to get back and get our money. And then they go back to get their money. And the guy's like, psych, I'm not giving you your money. You brought me like a child, like whatever. And I'm going to kill you all. And Kaz is like, psych, no, you're not. But then he messes up and he looks at Inej. And he's like, ooh, you care about her. I'm going to take her. And he takes her because he has control of some Grisha that are on the drugs. And then they leave. And Kaz is like, ow, my one true love. And
I
so
will never admit.
I will never admit. And then that leads up to the end where he makes the deal with the devil, his enemy, to get paid what he needs to save Inej.
Mm-hmm. And get his money. Don't forget that he still wants his money. Can't just be about Inej.
So that was our rapid fire review summary. With
Quite
many
rapid.
layers I didn't even add. So much happened. So many characters we meet. I didn't even realize it. I don't think I even wrote a review yet. Oh my god. I was like, what did you rate it? I was like,
what did you rate it?
I didn't rate it yet. I'm probably going to rate it pretty high. I had a great time. I mean, like, top lining, like, I loved the characters. We met so many different ones. They all had different personalities. I really love that you're able to get, I applaud this author because I know how hard it is to write 6 different perspectives while keeping the story going. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, 5 different perspectives. But it was really great to be able to see the characters from everyone's eyes and, like, see their stories unravel and learn about them. But then also, like, you had, like Nina and Matthias' story could have been one book alone. Like, their whole thing was so in-depth and so well written. But then you also have, like, Kaz and Inej, and then you also have Jesper. So it's, like, you got so many things intertwined, and you're able to see each other from different angles. And it gives you different perspectives on each character. And then, like, you're like let's say you're listening to Jesper describing Kaz or talking about Kaz, and then like a chapter later you're like listening to Inej describing Kaz, so you get this perspective of Kaz. You're like, oh, he's this or he's that, and then a second later you're getting inside Kaz's head and you're like, actually no, he's this. And it's like it just shows so many like this crazy to think about. Like, you don't get that often with books, and like to be able to see how other people think of you and how you are as well. So I thought that was just so cool. Like, I'm sure that was so hard to do, and I applaud her for it because I think it was really well done.
Yeah, and she also uses that to show different worldviews, right? Like, especially with Nina and Matthias, like, they have completely opposite experiences and worldviews and just, like, morals in a way, because their two cultures are basically made to hate each other. And so seeing their different perspectives, obviously hearing their very traumatic story of like surviving a shipwreck and whatnot, you get to see like what their cultures are like how they view each other, how they view their own culture, and then like how everyone else views them, how everyone else knows that they like love each other.
They love each other, yeah.
And she just, like, uses such great... Like, you gave the example of the tulip, where he looks at her like a tulip, like, blossoming.
Blossoming water or something. But the way she described it, I was like, first I was like, no teenager would say that. But second, beautiful.
You're like, maybe.
Yeah, I agree. But then you also get to see like it's a great like showing of like two characters, like you're saying, who have two different views, but like how they can come to common ground. And that's obviously such a big lesson in life and in reading and especially that's another reason why this should be YA. It brings the power of it and showing teenagers reading this that like you might meet someone who has totally opposite views from you, but doesn't mean that they can't, if they have like morally wrong views, doesn't mean they can't be changed for the better. Or that you can find common ground with someone that you don't always agree with.
Right.
Obviously, theirs is like a little more intense, where like he definitely has very bad morals, and you have to like thank God he's able to learn this. And he makes that point later on when she's attacking everyone. He's like, "Don't kill them all." He's like, "These are my like class, like these are my comrades. Like they, who's to say that they can't change their view either because they've been taught something their entire life." And I love the way she's able to write Mateus with that because you can see that like this, and that's another reason why I think it's so grounded in being in this genre, of showing a character that has been taught something their entire lives, also personally affected by it because his parents died, and shown that, but like, why did his parents die? Because the Grisha have been being attacked from the beginning, so it's a self-defense thing. But then he's not going to see it that way. He's going to nobody would, because your parents were just your family was murdered by these people, so you're going to see them as the enemy, of course. And not to say what they did was right either. So then, but it having that aspect of you're so young, everything that you know to be was true is not true, and having it the rug pulled out from you. How do you handle that? And on top of that, he's handling it in the most dramatic way ever. Shipwreck, thinking everyone dead, thinking his person he valued the most died, the leader, and then he's stuck with the person that he's supposed to believe is his enemy the entire life, and then now he's questioning that. That is so. That is like that. As I'm saying, that alone is his own book. Like, how do you even like tackle all of that in just one? It's like, oh, this is so beautifully written, and I think she did a great job of intertwining that, of his moments of like that aspect of that battle.
And I also love how she doesn't like dump things on you. Like she gives it to you in pieces and it really like pulls you along. You're like, oh my God, I just want to know the backstory. Like what is going on? Like with the two of them, like what's happening here? Or like with Kaz's backstory, you almost feel like you're never going to get it. And then she's like, I'm going to give you a little crumb and I'm going to give you a little more. And then she like puts it all together and you're like, oh my gosh, like this is so much.
This book is literally trauma. This book is packed with trauma.
Yeah. And like definitely I would say came out at a time where like mental health and like that was like a newer topic for YA. So she was dealing with like, because Kaz has, you know, the adverse reaction to like skin on skin touch. And like so much so that like he nearly like cannot, like he has to have his gloves. We see the moment where he is completely vulnerable and faints when they need him the most, basically. And like, you can't F this up. And he just succumbs to his body, basically. And I just thought she did a really good job writing all of that, including all of that. And I think that's what I also like about like rereading it is like we have so much more understanding and like we see so much more of that in media, I think. And just like everyday life, that to see it in action, you're like, you really feel for him and you feel for all of them. Yeah,
she didn't hold back. That's what I loved about it. She did not hold back. You know, she let him have this probably one of the most traumatic backstories I've read in a really long time. And then on top of that, she didn't hold back with Ninej being captured for slavery, and same with Nina being hunted her entire life, and Mateus going from trauma into military. Like that's such a common thing, and even Jesper a little bit. Like he's probably the least traumatic story out of all of them. But, true. Like, he still has been hiding who he is his whole life. So it's like, she didn't hold back. And I appreciate it wasn't just, like, one character. Like, everyone had the depth to them, and they had to. They're all part of the story. And I thought going into this, I'm like, or when it started with the flashbacks and things, I'm like, I wonder if that's going to take away from me. Like, I'm having so many flashbacks. Like, I'm like, I want to go back to the regular, like, am I going to want to go back to the regular plot and say, I want to keep moving with this heist? But no, it made it even more intense in the moment because you're adding to it and adding the layers and the depth of it.
Yeah.
It makes me even, like, wish more they had the television show because I could see that. I could see it in this media.
Yeah, I was gonna say even like the simple things of like when they go to get Mateus from the prison and he has to fight a wolf, and Nina is like, "Oh my god, like this has to be killing him because wolves are sacred in his home," and she's just that little tidbit, and you're like, "Oh my gosh, like I feel like so much for her, for him, just this is awful for the wolf."
For the wolf, yeah, I know. Oh, trigger warning for real.
Yeah.
I agree. Like there was so much she found throughout it. And then she also gave us like beautiful quiet moments. Like when she mentioned the flashback, you know, I was looking up a lot of fan art for our group. And one of the ones I saw a lot was the one small flashback she wrote of Kaz. And it wasn't even like they showed the scene. It was Kaz thinking about a time, I think when he was like trying to find happiness. Maybe it was with the drowning or whatever. Some point in the story with Kaz. And he thinks of a moment when Inej was like he was in the office reading something and she sat on the windowsill and she was feeding the crows.
She was feeding, yeah.
There has been so much artwork for that one moment. And I'm like, that's cute. How you know it hit the reader because all of these different fan arts of just that one moment. And this was like the smallest blip of time for Kaz, for the reader, but it meant so much. And I was like, chef kiss. That's how you know a writer did a great job because you don't need 15 chapters to display that.
Right. So true. I think it's interesting because like I don't read a lot of like thrillers. I don't read. No, I don't read a lot of like thrillers or heist books or mysteries or anything. And maybe it's because I don't read them that often that like when I get a good one like this one, like I love it. Like I'm all in. And you're just on the edge of your seat like every time with the plan and it goes wrong. But like Kaz is just so smart that you're like, he's got something up his sleeve. Like I love that he is like, he uses like the guise of like a magician, right? He has all the tricks and it's not that he like wants to like be cool or anything with that. He like, they all have a purpose. And I love that even like when he was a little kid and he had to like wait around for his brother, he would just stare in the mirror and like practice like the coin disappearing because he just wanted to know like how things like that worked and how much that has affected him.
Well, he constantly said that. Like, I think Mateus asked him how he knew something. He was like, the way that everyone else learns, you take it apart. Because but I'm like, not everyone thinks that way. Like he thinks that way. To learn something, you have to take it apart to get there. And I'm like, that's brilliant. Not everyone thinks that way.
No, I liked the moment too where he explains how he thinks to Mateus. Like I thought that was a good kind of like breaking down of like their relationship, especially because like. I also love that Mateus calls him the demon in his language.
He's a demon. And he's like, oh, you think I'm a demon anymore? He's like, no, I still think you're a demon. Like...
You are. But yeah, even like they have come, I wouldn't say that they're friends per se, but like they understand each other better and they will rely on each other now. She does a good job building those relationships too.
I really loved the way she created the Fjordans and the ice court because once we got there we learned so much about them, about how they use Grishas as their slaves to do so much for them. But then even as Mateus speaks throughout it and Kaz points it out and Nina points it out, there's so much of like his culture that is based in magical aspects, in gods, in fairies, in spirits, in these rituals, like, and like there's so much that he like believes in but then you're also hunting the thing that is magic in your world, that is true magic. And
Right.
it's insane. The hypocrisy of it is so there because it's a propaganda that the government is putting out for them because, like, the leaders, as you've seen with the book, don't actually, like, yes, they believe the Grisha is beneath them, but they just believe they're beneath them also because they want to use them to their advantage. Not because they truly believe that their God is telling them to murder them. They're like, no, let's use it to our advantage. And then that's what obviously Mateus realizes and things. And it's like, well, no, they're actually not doing it for what they said. So I just think that was such a great, like, duology thing that she included within it, that made you question it. Because I know when I first went into it and I was reading it, I was like, why are the Grisha the people that are the lowest in this world? You wouldn't expect that because they have all the power. Like,
They're powerful.
Like, literally magical powers. But so I guess it's so many of the unpowerful outpower them. And you don't see that a lot in these books. No. Like, that's such a switch of, like, an idea. And I was like, wow, that's so brilliant. Like, the fact that she switched that. Yeah. I just thought it was really cool. I mean, I feel terrible for the Grisha 100%. Yeah. But, like, you just wouldn't expect that. You would think if you're in a room with someone that has magical powers and someone who doesn't, it wouldn't be a power switch of that.
Yeah. I also thought it's so... And maybe because Shadow and Bone already exists, but I just felt like it was so seamless, the magic system. Like, it was so easy to accept, like, fairly easy to understand. Granted, like, the words are tricky, and...
Yeah, I think I'm still confused on some of the magics. Like, some of the ones we haven't seen a lot, I'm a little confused.
Yeah. And, like, there's definitely... Because I think we talked about the difference between, like, a heart render and... It's not a healer, but there is two...
a healer, but they're in the same class.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Is, like, one is one and... But anyways, but I just, like, everything, to me, everything felt, like, very natural. I do think it's interesting that they have to raise their hands to use their powers. Like, I think that's a very specific and almost, like, limiting thing.
Because they're not that as powerful as you think, yeah.
Right. And, like, because so often they, like, are described as, like, oh, their hands were bound, or, you know, they, like, tied them behind their back, whatever. And I was like, that's such a... I don't know. There's no, like, mind... Like, you'd think, like, Nina's, you would think would be, like, a mind thing. Or, like, even Jesper's.
Well, when she's on the drug, it's not. It could be.
I mean, it is. It's, like, so instantaneous on the drug. The drug is wild.
Yeah, but... like, Jesper's I had to, like, get used to. I think it's because... Not because of the writing, but I think I'm not used to, like, the magic of, like, being able to, like, change metals and fabrics. And I was like, oh, but that's why it's called a fabricator. And I'm like, okay, I get it. But, like, I don't know. I just don't see that a lot. So there was a new concept for me to, like, wrap my head around.
His was cool, though, when it came to light with the lock. That was wild. Because when Kaz got... he had the lockpicks, when they get locked up, Kaz gets, like, searched and the picks are in his mouth. So he, like, we think he loses them and, like, how are they going to get out of this cell? And then he, like, makes his distraction, whatever. And then Jesper, like, you're up. And so Jesper, like, takes metal from the bars to make Kaz, like, new picks.
Lock picks, yes.
Yeah. I just thought that was so genius. So cool.
Cool. I thought it was gross, some of the points when they're like, they had to, like, ingest something and they had to put it up.
Throw it up?
Kaz was like, I learned that from a magic guy, a flamethrower. And I was like, well... Yeah. That's a choice, right?
Yeah. There's, so at the end of the book, there's a nice long interview with Leigh, just about various things. And one of them was... if she watched any, like, heist movies or anything like Ocean's 11. I'm trying to find it. Okay, so she said she didn't really watch anything for inspiration. Most heist stories follow a similar formula. And then... Ooh, she says a lot of the tricks used in film don't work in a novel. Because you don't have the same, like, angle to work with.
To give the audience information,
Yeah. She says the reader has more time to process what's happening. It's a good interview.
Oh, she's so smart.
Yeah. She said that Kaz's backstory was the hardest to write. And then she had to keep making it, like, simpler.
I could imagine. I mean, simpler. That was still traumatizing. I think it was. I was like, I wish you saw my face when I was listening to it, because I think I was like like sad, but also like clapping because of how she wrote this. Because I fully went into this thinking, okay, well, not like from the beginning, but as I'm reading, I'm like, okay, Jordy died because they got into like a bad thing. Like they got into like a bad deal. One of the gang members killed him. Like I was expecting some big fight out or something like that. And then for them to go to the fact that like, actually, she's going to make it sadder. She's going to be like, no, actually, it wasn't any of their fault at all. And you're like, oh, it changes your idea of it, because I really went into it thinking it was like Jordy or Kaz's fault or something. Like they got something bad because of, but that's me as a reader's fault, because I'm just assuming that about Kaz because of what his like persona is to others. And in reality, that's not him. So I think it's so genius that she didn't go that way, and she went with the saddest thing ever, like, he got sick and he died. And you're like, oh, he just got sick? Like, damn. But he wouldn't have gotten sick if that didn't happen to them. Like, I mean, he might have, but they wouldn't have been on the streets. They would have still been in their housing.
Yeah. They got swindled. They were just little boys, and they got horribly swindled. Even the little girl was in on it. That part still boggles my mind. That the wife and daughter, if they're even his actual wife and daughter, were in on it. I was like, that's just horrible. And
to do all that, too. To do all that.
Right. Like, this was like committing to the bit. Like, it was weeks. And then, poof.
That they done multiple times that he learned. And that's insane.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so who was your favorite crow?
So, I like Kaz, and it's kind of what I talked about already. I just think he's very, very smart. And I also like that he's also vulnerable. He's stubborn. And you just...
Do you only like stubborn characters, Leigh?
I mean, there's something about them that you just... I don't know if you want to root for them, or you're just like... They give you a emotional battle, I guess. Like, at the end, I was so heartbroken for him. I was just like, this poor guy. Like, truly, now he's a kid. Like, he's just...
Which he weaves in moments of usefulness in perfectly. Things that happen, it's like, they oversaw. He's so smart, but only to extent.
Yeah. So I like Kaz. How about you?
I love Inej. That's crazy. I don't love how Kaz treats her. He could treat her much better.
She knows that.
And she knows that, and everyone else knows that.
And she tells him that, which is great.
Yeah, literally. I just liked so many of her scenes where, like, the incinerator from the start, like, from the beginning until we got there. We knew this would be insane. And she did not make it not less insane. Once the shoes started melting into her feet, I was like, absolutely not. I was like gagging, but I was like, this is insane. She's just so fearless in that. And I just love how she's rooted in her family. And it tore me away too once we found out her backstory on top of that. I just was like, are you kidding me? Like, she was separated from this family that she talks about so much. And she's like, will they even recognize me? Will they even know? Like, are they even still alive? Oh my god, I just think that she's so... And she just sees everyone so clearly. She's such a great, like, view. And she's that... Even with this, all the things she's been through, she still has hope for the future. And hope for herself. And hope for the world, it sounds like. So, I'm Team Inej every day. Even though I do love Nina and Mateus, but I felt more like... I'm like, okay, I'm watching their story, and it's gonna be fine. Like, I'm fine.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Like, you're like, I get it.
Right. You're like, I know that they're gonna be, like, well, wrapped up in a little box. Like, they're gonna have their moment, and like that is so great. And everything else is gonna have more turmoil.
Yeah, like Inej and Cass feel like that couple that like clearly they like, yes, there's something there, come on, you gotta just talk about it, whatever, and then they don't, and then they go, like, if they were in like the mono world, then they go like years without seeing each other. They go do their own things, because then at the time, if they gotten back together at that time, they wouldn't have worked out because they were too toxic for each other, or one person wasn't ready for the other, and the situation, Kaz is not ready for Inej, so it's like they would have go their separate ways, and she'd become this and he'd become that, and then they'd meet back at a random town event years from now, and they bump into each other, and then we have a random romance novel of them falling in love and giving it their chance. That's their story, and I was just like, that's why it's so intriguing, because you're just like, I can see her being without him, and it's fine, but
I almost like you don't necessarily need a romance like on page, you know, like I like what is being set up, and I like them like trying to understand each other and what they're feeling and what they mean to each other. But it's also kind of like there are bigger things happening. Especially like by the end, like when Inej is in the like incinerator and she really decides like, I have a higher purpose now, and like I want to get out of this, and I want to do right by my people. And I love this scene. I think it's Jesper's chapter. They're on the boat like going back, and he's like, and Inej is like over here with the captain all of a sudden, like learning to tie knots. Like, what is she doing? And like, but she's like, I'm gonna sail a boat. Like, I'm gonna take a fleet. She's like, I'm gonna do this. I had an awakening,
complete awakening. You have no idea what's coming for you. Like she had like a frozen moment of her being like, let it go. Like she's ready to take on the world now, and she knew this. She knew this moment, so it's crazy. And then she gets kidnapped. So fuck everybody, right? The girl that did so much gets kidnapped. Like, are you kidding me? They couldn't kidnap somebody else?
No, she's his weakness.
His Achilles heel. It's Inej.
And I'm sure he hates himself for that, and that it puts her in danger, you know?
Okay, so to wrap it up, I want to do a fun game that I just found.
Okay.
So we're going to see which Six Crows character you are. And I'm going to put this in the chat too so other people can do it. Okay, choose your weapon. Your fist, a fountain pen. Choose a weapon. I am a weapon. Pistols at dawn, knives and daggers, anything sharp, or there's nothing sharper than my wits.
So I'm going to choose pistols.
Pistols at dawn. Okay.
At dawn.
Someone has a secret. How do you get it out of him? You make a friendly wager. You get in his head without him knowing it. Eavesdrop, flirt, threaten, or let him keep it. Everyone has a secret.
Eavesdrop.
You are most likely to worry about disappointing your parents, losing your way, betraying your honor, giving into temptation, being under someone's thumb, or showing weakness.
Most likely to worry about.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, I don't know.
Pick one. Pick number 3, my lord.
I guess I'll go with number 3, betraying my honor.
I wasn't serious. I was referencing
stuff. I know.
What do you prize most? Family, power, cash, money, truth, learning, or independence?
I guess family.
At your best, you are charming, funny, cunning, loyal, brave, or intuitive.
Loyal.
Your favorite action hero is Han Solo, the Hulk, Katniss Everdeen, Bucky Barnes. Oh, those are your 2 favorite people.
Oh.
Batman or what is this? In Predator for Furiosa?
I have no idea.
I don't know what that is. Sorry, guys. For our listeners.
Action hero?
Bucky
I guess
Barnes.
I'll say Bucky.
Yeah, Katniss
isn't. She's not an action hero.
Out of all these people, these are like actual superheroes. Yeah.
Right. Still love her, but
yeah. If you could wake up tomorrow with an amazing talent, you would be able to pick any lock, shoot with perfect aim, leap and tumble like a Cirque du Soleil performer. It's like we could just know who each character is. Right. Learn any language and speak it like a native. brawl like a UFC champ, or play a musical instrument like
Virtuoso. I'm gonna go with the language one.
Same, if I could do it. In a high-stress situation, you thrive, freak out, shake it off, and refocus. Remain calm, come up with a new plan, eat what? I think better on a full stomach. It should be eat what? I think better on a full stomach. That's why I should have read it.
I'm gonna say remain calm.
Oh my god, how many questions did I have?
How many questions is right? Because you gotta do it too.
You are attracted to the good one, the mysterious one, the confident one, the funny one, the strong one, or the shy one.
The good one.
I should say the stubborn one.
On my birthday.
You'd like to receive, I don't care as long as it comes from the heart, the perfect mixtape, a trip to Vegas, vengeance on my enemies, cake, also more cake, or birthdays are frivolous, keep your trinkets.
I'll say the perfect mixtape. Oh my gosh.
Your ideal vacation is someplace cold and snowy, Vienna or Prague, someplace cosmopolitan. I don't take vacations. Why? We go to family vacations. A road trip with my family, ziplining, skydiving, swimming with sharks. Oh, that's all one. And lying on a beach doing absolutely nothing.
That one.
Yeah, I was like, that's 100% you.
I think I'm going to be Jesper.
In a group, in a group, you are the leader, always making plans. The rock, you can be relied on. The joker, ready to make everyone laugh. The outsider, you never quite fit in. The glue, you hold it together. Or the mouth, you have an opinion on everything.
I'm going to say the rock.
On Friday nights, you are spending time alone, at a party or throwing a party, catching up on work, trying a new restaurant, at the gym, or at a concert.
Let's be fun. At a concert.
You do like concerts.
Yeah.
You are Mateus!
Cute.
That's crazy. I love this fan art. Oh my god.
He's got
it
a
says,
little wolf.
You are most like Mateus, a former soldier who longs to return to his homeland. You are honorable above all else and ready to fight what you believe. I'm ready to fight for what you believe, but you're also stubborn, uptight, and well, let's face it, judgy.
Wow.
I wouldn't.
Also, I like the beach,
judgy.
not the ice.
Did I put the ice? Oh, no, you're saying in general.
No. Yeah.
I'm going to do this quickly. I think I know my
Your
answers.
turn.
Daggers? I'm not going to read it to everyone again.
No, but read your answers.
Okay, I picked daggers as my weapon. There's a secret. How do I get it out of him? I'm going to pick eavesdrop. For I'm most likely to worry about being under someone's thumb.
Mm-hmm.
What do you prize most? I would say family. At your best, you are loyal. My favorite action hero out of all these, I actually might still put Katniss Everdeen.
I mean, she fits for you, yeah.
I just really love her. If I could wake up tomorrow with an amazing talent, I think I'm also going to pick the language one. In a high-stress situation, I come up with a new plan constantly. I think I thrive in high stress, but I don't think people around me would say the same. But I feel like I'm in stressful situations all the time. But I'll just go with come up with a new plan.
Okay.
You are attracted to the funny one. On a birthday, you'd like to receive. Imagine if I put vengeance on my enemies. I have no enemies. I'm going to go with anything as long as it comes from the heart. I really care about that stuff. My ideal vacation is not lying on a beach. I'll get too bored after like a day.
You don't want to read.
I'll fall asleep.
And you get a nice tan.
Either Vienna or Prague. In a group, you are, I think I'm the rock.
The planner. I don't know. You're a planner.
I know, I'm a planner. On a Friday night, you are, I am probably trying a new restaurant. I do love to eat.
But
I am
Pizza
a
Fridays.
Nige!
Oh, you you got your girl.
You're most likely not just by knows of me. Your killer instinct may mask a generous heart. People frequently underestimate you, but they never make that mistake twice. Though you keep yourself and value your independence, once your friendship is earned, you are loyal to the end. That actually describes me pretty well. So that was fun. Thanks, Leigh. The author Leigh is on her website. It was a Grishaverse website, so thanks, Leigh, and the publisher for that. That was a great way to wrap up our Grishaverse episode of the Grishaverse with Six of Crows reviews. So we're really excited to keep going. So we're going to read Crooked Kingdom next, and we're going to review it on here. We're reading it with our book club, so make sure to join the book club.
Mystic Scales.
Mystic Scales, and to read Shadow and Bone with us after, and then we should keep going. We should read the rest of the books we mentioned today. Why not? We're already here.
I guess, yeah.
And watch the show. So it'll be super duper exciting. Thank you all for listening today. We appreciate it. Make sure to contact us and connect with us on Instagram, on TikTok, and YouTube. And on the book club, on the app Fable. Make sure to download the app Fable. We love to use Fable. Thank you all for joining again. We hope that you take the quiz and find out your favorite, your
let us know.
Six of Crows character and who your favorite is. Let us know. And no mourners, no funerals.
No funerals. No, I love that. Happy reading, everyone.
Happy reading.